And so do you call the cops right away or do you wait a little bit?
No, the cops know before the catch. They know.
In what way do you communicate with the cops?
So we call up non-emergency ahead
Okay.
of time, and we say, hey, we're CCU. Well, now most cops already know who we are.
Okay.
We call them up. They're like, oh, okay, cool. Just let us know when you have a location, and we'll be there.
Uh-huh.
All right. So we just call up non-emergency. We say like, hey, we got a sting operation today. We're CC unit. We're gonna be coming to your city.
And the cops can't tell you like, sir, please do not do sting operations. Like, I feel like they don't want people taking the law into their own hands, or they seem appreciative.
Well, obviously it's a part of their protocol. I mean, in front of the cameras, they're gonna say, "Oh, they can't force us to not do it because that's against the law on their part."
Right.
But they advise us. They request us to not do it. Like,
Right.
hey, please don't do this. It's dangerous. But behind closed doors, when the cameras are off, trust me, they appreciate what we do.
Because they're so underfunded and they just don't have the resources to really like attack this problem in any meaningful way from what I've heard. So I feel like they probably don't mind people taking it into their hands because, I mean, it doesn't seem like most local police departments are really funded to do this kind of thing.
Oh yeah, I've talked to detectives before, cops, and they've told me straight up, hey, we don't even have the time to do this. And
Right.
the reason being is they're so overflown and they're so buried in child porn.
Really?
Because they say that the way Google works is when Google gets some of these creeps, they upload footage and video and pictures of, I call it CP just to censor it a little.
What's the new name is CSAM.
CSAM, yeah.
Child sexual assault material or some shit.
Child sexual abuse material.
Right, and because the reason why is because child pornography, like pornography by definition, is consensual. So when you throw a child in front of it, it kind of legitimizes it in a way, or acts as if it's like art or like it's okay in some way, whereas it really is a criminal act. So it shouldn't really be like referred to the way we talk about regular porn, which I think makes sense, even though probably most people are not going to be able to remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, the detectives and cops, they've told me before where the way Google works is these creeps, they upload the footages and the videos and pictures that they collect wherever they collect them from, and they store it onto their hard drives or they store it into like a Google Drive or whatever, and then Google flags it. Google like picks up scans it, and they're like, oh, like this is like suspicious. So then whatever Google picks up as suspicious, they then report it to the local PD of that IP address. So they know the IP address of wherever that thing was uploaded.
Right.
So they get the footages and they report it to the cops, and then the cops are like, oh shit, this is illegal stuff right here. Then they get a warrant, they go knock down their door, arrest them, search warrant, and then they're done.
I just wonder how many times they get alerted. Like in a big city like San Diego or LA, it feels like it's probably like constantly.
It's stacked. They told me, the cops are like, if you go look at our desk is filled with papers just from all the reports. So that's why they were telling me like, hey, we don't even have the time to do this because they're so overflown by it.
Yeah, like I remember years ago, Sam Harris did a podcast about the sheer enormity of and the specifics and the details of the problem of CP, let's call it.
Yeah.
And it is astounding. Like just the amount of it that exists, how, basically useless the cops are to really deal with it in any kind of meaningful way. It's just like unbelievably shocking how big this problem is.
Bro, it's an epidemic. It really is. It's all around the world.
Yeah. And yeah, probably even worse in a lot of other countries and stuff where they don't necessarily have as strict of laws or whatever. But, one thing that always comes to mind is the fact that I remember way back in the day, the rapper Cameron from Dipset. Yeah, he was like one of the biggest rappers in New York back in the early 2000s and shit. And I remember around like 2006 or so, I would guess, he announced to the world his plans to do like a sort of like home To Catch a Predator style thing where it would be him, confronting these guys that they would bait or whatever. And just the idea of it instantly went so viral because people like could not believe how funny an idea this was. The idea of Cameron, who's this like super charismatic rapper, confronting these dudes. And I remember at the time thinking like, even though yes, that would be amazing content, that it just seemed kind of dangerous. And that if I was Cameron, that just doesn't seem like the kind of risk that you would want to be taking. But that's why it's kind of wild to see how big this has become on YouTube, where it's like fairly common. Like who do you look at as the greats in this space in terms of this kind of content? Who does a good job with it? And are most of them all off YouTube at this point?
I would say the OG is obviously Chris Hansen.
Right.
He's the one that really started this movement. I would say I'm one of them, just because of the numbers that I have and the arrest record that I have and the convictions that I have.
Right.
And the people that I've caught.
Yeah.
I would say I'm up there. I'm not at the level of Chris Hansen yet. Maybe one day.
Well, I mean, him having a TV show and shit, that's just kind of insane. Does he still do that kind of content? No?
He does, yeah.
He does. Okay.
Yeah, he's still doing it. But I would say I'm up there. Obviously, Chris Hansen. I like John Walsh. You know,
he does it too.
America's Most Wanted.
Oh wow, I didn't know.
I mean, he doesn't do To Catch a Predator, but he does. You know, America's Most Wanted.
Right.
Where he mostly goes after child predators himself, because I don't know if you've heard the story with his son, Adam Walsh, where his 6-year-old son was, you know, kidnapped from a mall and then assaulted and then murdered.
Murdered? Holy
yeah.
shit.
So, and that's what really inspired him to do America's Most Wanted.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then another guy that does a really, really good job is the sheriff out in Florida. His name is Grady Judd.
And he does it on YouTube?
He does his press conferences on YouTube.
Okay.
But it's like almost every couple months he goes up, does a press conference where he's like, these are all and he has all the mugshots of the people that he's caught. And he puts them up on a wall, and then he's like, these are all the people that we've caught in this sting operation. Some of them travel to meet with a minor, some of them are trading pictures, some of them are receiving pictures, you know, all types of.
How far do you travel?
I've been to many states doing this.
Really?
I've obviously California. I've been to Arizona.
So if you have a good one, you're down to drive 4 or 5 hours to go.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. If I know that this guy is a bad creep, I'm like we're talking to a guy in Montana right now.
Really?
We're talking to a creep in Montana. We're planning on going over there and getting this guy.
Was that like a 10-hour drive or something? Maybe
yeah,
more?
Probably more.
Jesus Christ. So you're telling me that if you were to just stick to San Diego, that it would be tough because at a certain point you're just going to kind of run out? Like, is it kind of difficult to like find these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this for so long, for so many years, that San Diego kind of knows who I am now. It's kind of hard to get these guys now in San Diego because they already know who we are.
And they probably talk amongst each. Well, do they? Do you think they like know each other, or
probably? I mean, they probably have a group chat. Oh, watch out for CC Unit.
Yeah.
But that's good though. I like them being scared.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, if it scares them enough to not do it, then that seems like a pretty good result too.
Yeah, for sure.
I need everybody to check out NoJumper.com. We officially started a blog. It has in-depth articles about current events, music, etc., plus all of our content in terms of podcasts, interviews, etc. And you can get some exclusive new merch if you check out NoJumper.com. So make sure you tap in.